Hi guys, I'm going to be showing you how to make a very quick vegan dinner out of some tofu, and if you got some string beans and some kind of stewed or diced tomato, you can have a side dish. So I got this from the freezer. This is just some Wildwood extra firm tofu. So I'm going to show you guys how to get this ready to make it into chicken. Okay, like on here you see there's chicken bites on the cover. So we're going to be making chicken bites out of tofu. So I'm going to show you everything you need to do, okay? So all I have here is some French style, can of French style beans, and I have some diced tomato. That's the side dish. I'm just going to use a boiler with that. Let's see here. You put the tomato, if you don't eat tomato, you can use just some onion, cut you up some onion in there, and a little apple cider vinegar, just to give it a little tanginess, and some lemon or lime. So what I'm going to be doing is just pouring the tomatoes in the boiler, because they're going to boil together along with the string beans. If you don't want the whole can, you can use half a can, up to you. But I pull all the juices off of whatever I'm cooking. And sometimes I'll even rinse off whatever it is, because it's in the can. You know, it's best to eat fresh picked beans and tomatoes, not canned stuff. But I'm counting down at the end of the month, so I'll mix up a side of tomatoes and beans. I'll do a quickie, you know, for dinner. Mix the beans and the tomatoes up, and then I'll put just a little apple cider vinegar in there to take the fizzy taste away. You can also season it with some, you can use a little oregano or a little salt-free seasoning. I'm just going to use a little vinegar in there. It's just a little side dish. I keep the brags in the refrigerator, so I just pour a little bit over here to give us some flavor, and I'll probably use some pepper on it and a little oregano. Okay. Just want to give it a flavor. Pepper and oregano. I gotta get me a peppercorn shaker. That's much better than this little thing here I get at the dollar store. And just a pinch of oregano goes right in there with that, just to give it a flavor. Okay, so that's cooking. Now, the next thing you want to do when you're making tofu is get it prepared. So you can either use your chopping block or you can use a plate. We are going to pour the water off of it. It's good to have like some paper towel, because you can use the paper towel to kind of smash it out, you know. Let's see if I can get it open. It's been in the freezer, so it has a lot of water in it. Water comes right out of it. If you're trying to eat vegan, you want to try different foods. And tofu is considered a vegan chicken. So I just want you to know that. This one is made out of the beans. Hold on a minute. I scanned it with my app, and it's nothing artificial in it at all. Open bean curd, basically. My hands are so slick, so you don't want to break it apart. You want to get it out whole together out of the pack. Okay, there you go. It's made out of beans. Once you get it out the pack, you need either a paper towel, a dishcloth, something that you can smash the water out. I'm going to just use this coffee filter because that's what I see here. And you want to smash as much water out of it as you can. See how that water coming out? You don't want to crush it, but you want to put, forcefully hold your weight on it to get the water out. Let's see, it was frozen. Look at all that water. I had 2 of them left in the freezer, and I said before the week is out, I want to cook those tofu up there. So you just want to be able to get as much water out of there, because if you don't get the water out, when you start cutting it, it kind of falls apart. So you want it to be as dry as it can possibly be when you get ready to cut it in squares. It's a lot of water in that. Hold on, crush it. I'll turn it sideways too. Okay. Just want to get all of the water out as much as you can. Just like when you're cooking hamburger meat and it has the blood in the pack, you got to get that out of there too. Or chicken or any type of meat. But this just has water in it because it's curd bean. It's beans that's curded up together to make it into a tasty dish. Beans and milk, and I guess that's about as good as I'm going to get it, because I don't have, all I have is this thing here. Okay, so your next step is you want to try to cut it up into chunks, and hopefully it won't fall apart. That's why it's important to get the water out so it won't fall apart on you when you cut it, because they try to make it as healthy as possible so they don't use a bunch of stuff to try to make it stick together, So that's why when you get the water out, it sticks together just fine. Okay, so I'm going to cut these again in half, because these would be like chicken nuggets, basically. So you just cut it, you just keep cutting them down to squares, or if you want them long, you can cut them long. If you want long pieces to look like long pieces of chicken, however you like it. Most importantly, if you had it in your freezer, trying to make sure it lasts, is to get the water out. Get that water out, because if you don't, it'll all fall apart and you won't have anything to really season when you start trying to flour and season and do all the different things to it. And you just keep cutting. I just do little squares like this, and then I cut them again in half. And I call them my chicken nugget chunks. Okay. Then you want to cut it straight down here like so. This one had more water in it. It's almost falling apart. It's like a sponge, but it tastes just like a piece of chicken when you finish. Okay, so that was kind of unevenly cut. Okay, so you end up with these little chunks of squares. This is your tofu, right? Squeeze all the water out. You end up with your squares. The next thing you want to do is you want to mix a mixture in a bowl, and you're going to dip it in the mixture. Let me show you what I do. Sometimes you could, even if you want to consider it to be buffalo chicken, you can dip it in a hot sauce and buttered mixture. But I don't have any butter. So what we're going to use is some olive oil, some soy sauce, and a little vinegar to help it to stick. And I'm going to put some sesames in there. Sesame seed. I like sesame seed. I'm going to just use some vegetable oil. I don't want to use the little olive oil that I have. I have to get some more olive oil. You're just going to use some olive oil, just enough to make into a coating for what you're going to cook. I mean, this is just vegetable oil. And see, I got some sesame seed here. I'm just going to throw some sesame seed in there. Okay. You don't have to always put a sesame seed in anything. Next is I'm going to use a little soy sauce in this oil and sesame seeds. Okay, give it a salt taste. And then I'm going to use a little vinegar in there. This is better made with olive oil than vegetable oil. But, oh well, we'll see how this works. I like mine to be really brown looking. Okay, now after this, we're going to turn each piece over in here, and then we'll begin our seasoning next. Mix your oil. You're going to mix everything in a bowl up, the oil, vinegar, and the soy sauce. Right? And you get a little mixture there. And the next thing, you're going to start dipping your chunks into the mixture. Okay, so you can get them kind of coated. Or you could just pour it all over if you want to do it the quick way. You know, just pour it all over the whole plate there. Let's see here. I don't think I have enough to be pouring. I should have just dipped everything. And it's just oil, vinegar, and sesame. You want to just make sure it has a flavor when you get ready to, and make sure your flour and your cornstarch can stick. You know, if you're going to use flour and cornstarch or whatever you're going to use. Okay, just turn it over in a coating. See, I don't have really enough coating, so I'm just going to turn it over like so that everyone can get oil and sesame and soy on it. So it can get, you know, that tastiness in there. Okay. Now I'm going to turn off the string beans and tomatoes because they're just about ready. Well, they are ready, basically. Okay, I'm just going to pour the rest of it over here, all over everything on the plate. So all of my little chunks are covered with the oil, the sesame, and the soy sauce. Okay. Turn the stove off. Next thing, you can grab your skillet and start getting your oil kind of warm. I'm going to do these as fried again. Get your oil kind of warm. Use this vegetable oil. Turn your skillet on low so you'll have time to finish seasoning your tofu chicken. Okay. Somebody here needs to take the garbage out. Let's just do this. right, so the next thing, you want to get your flour, whatever type flour you're going to use, and you want to put it in something that you can mix up your little tofu. This is a baking type flour for some baking. I don't have any regular flour. Normally what I do when I run out of flour is I'll grind up oatmeal and I'll use that on something to clump it together. But I don't feel like grinding it up right now in the blender. You grind it up really fine, just like you grind up nuts into flour. Put it in the oats in there and it comes out just like a flour. So this is a baking flour, but I'm going to use it today because I have to go to the store. Now we're going to go in with some chili, some paprika. I'm going to use a little ginger on there, a little ginger spice. I'm going to do a little different something today. I don't have any garlic. Okay, there's no garlic. All right, so what we're going to do here, I want to go for a spiciness. So I'm going to add some hot sauce on here along with the soy, so it'll be a little salty. I'm going to add a little spicy of hot sauce on here, right? Just to make it a little spicy. I like spicy stuff sometimes. I get a taste for it. Okay. So I want to do this quickly because I want you guys to see what I'm doing. Next thing you want to do is go in with your seasoning for your chicken or your tofu, which I'm using a little chili on the front side of it, right? Get them seasoned up really good. Go and turn them over. So you got both sides seasoned well, just like you had a piece of chicken. Turn the grease down. Okay. Turn your little nuggets over on the other side. Even season, right? Another thing you can do with this is once you cut them up into chunks, if they're really dried out really good, you can just take all of this off of this thing and put it in something and shake it around like a bowl, like a big bowl or something, and just shake them up in the bowl around like that. Then I'm just going to add in my paprika. Okay. I'm also going to try a little ginger on this. Not much. Not much, just to give it a spice, because I got the hot sauce. So we're trying paprika. We're doing our dark spices. Paprika, chili, and just a little ginger. And then we marinated it with sesame oil and our vinegar, right? So I'm going to turn it over on the other side. I'm not trying to season it to death, but, you know, if it was a great piece of chicken, you wanted seasoning on it, right? So we're going to turn it over and do our paprika and ginger. And then we're going right into our little flour bag over here. I like to get everything even seasoned. The only reason I added a little hot sauce is because the soy sauce that I use is still salty, but it's low sodium. So I wanted to make sure I had a little salt and a little spice, right? So now we got that, and I'm going to do ginger on this side as well. Okay, just a little ginger spice all the way around. I don't want it to be too ginger tasting. Now, in my little coffee thing, this is how I normally do with the flour that I have. If you got flour, cornstarch, whatever you got, you just start tossing them in there, and then you go right to the skillet. The grease is hot and ready, so that's not going to be a problem. I should have had a bigger thing for flour, because this is crazy. So then you just go right on in the skillet with it, and you just keep going. Put flour on each one. Just like that. So you get the whole skillet full of your little chicken nuggets, your little chicken nuggets. Kind of wet, so it's getting a little clumpy. Tell you what I'm going to do to make this a little quicker for myself. I'm going to take a little something like this here and dry it out and put some flour in it. Throw them around in there like that with coffee, and then you get more for your money, and it's a quicker process, right? Put my baking flour in here. Sad when you run out of breadcrumbs. Breadcrumbs, everything is out. So you have your seasoned chicken tofu meat, and you're just going to put a couple in here. You want to get the skillet full. My son loves these. He don't even know that they're not chicken. He just eats. So I'm like, oh, chicken nuggets. Oh, thank you. You're going to see when they get done. They look just like chicken nuggets. You just kind of toss them around in there like that so they get floured. Throw them in the skillet. And they fry just like chicken nuggets, and they're much cheaper. I think I got this for like $1.78, one pack of tofu. And the other two are like $2 or something a piece. And look at all the pieces you get. If you buy a bag of chicken nuggets, what is it, $10? And this is healthy for you because it's just beans. You know, it's beans and it's milk curd. And they call sunflower. Let me tell you what the ingredients are. I'm going to read the pack to you in 1 second. Tell you what it's got in it. It does have a binding agent because they stick together just like they were a piece of chicken. So they do stick together. You just keep shaking it up like that. And put more flour in as you go. Now these are going to be really good and crispy. Well, I threw the pack away. But these are delicious when I'm done. And it's healthy for you because I scan my food. I got my little app and it tells you what's in stuff. It'll say, you know, it's called Yuka, Y-U-K-A. If you want to know if you're eating something good for you or what's in something that I bought, if it's meat or anything, you can scan it and it'll let you know whether something is good or bad inside as far as the ingredients go. And that's something you need to know when you're eating something because it's going down into your belly. Anything in your belly can make you sick because it doesn't circulate in your bloodstream. So you need to know what's inside of whatever you're eating. Even things like shampoos, soaps, things like that. I scan everything on there. I'm going to show you how it's coming so far. And then I'm going to restart my video because my video is going a little long here. So this is how it's cooking up so far. But I cook it until it gets really hard and crispy. You know, it's cooking up just like a chicken nugget. I had to turn this one over here. Let me turn the fire up a little bit. I got the fire on low. Okay. So I'm going to get back with you guys in a minute after I take a little break, okay? I'm going to get all of these seasoned up and in the skillet. And when they're done, I'm going to show you how it turned out, okay? Take a break.